Ozi v'zimerat Yavayi l'Yeshua. Ozi v'zimerat Yavayi l'Yeshua. Yizuz v'gibor ya gibor milchama. Yizuz v'gibor ya gibor milchama. Ozi v'zimerat Yavayi l'Yeshua. Ozi v'zimerat Yavayi l'Yeshua. Yizuz v'gibor ya gibor milchama. Yizuz v'gibor ya gibor milchama.
More time. Ozi
v'zimerat Yavayi l'Yeshua. Ozi v'zimerat Yavayi l'Yeshua. Yizuz v'gibor ya gibor milchama. Yizuz v'gibor ya gibor milchama.
Yay.
How tribal of us.
That was fun.
Almost like we practiced it.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Good evening. I'm Rabbi Javier Carapan, and I am joined by Leslie Zucker, Howard Pittler, Warren Sickle, and our technical team. A big thank you to our BOW committee for bringing us beyond our walls, to our digital docents who are managing our streaming, and to our CBT staff and community for being so flexible. You can tell that due to the increased community spread of COVID here in our area in Kansas City, our services are now virtual for the next few weeks.
We know how to do this, folks. We got this. We've done
this before.
A lot.
So on Facebook Live, please follow the comments for useful information during the service. Our virtual sanctuary has all the links right above the player. If you're joining us on Facebook Live, we invite you to say hello by typing Shabbat Shalom in the comments line, and also we'll love to know where you're watching us from today. Very important, if you need immediate technical help during the streaming, you may reach out to CBT's technical assistance line, TAL, at 913-303-1134. Please text the number, and a docent will call you as soon as they can. This is the only Shabbat in the year that I get to wear this T-shirt that I purchased a few years ago. Well, the first year I was here in 2016. And the reason I purchased it is because it says Red Sea.
Bless your heart.
I had no idea. I thought, how Jewish of the store to have something about
Kansas
the Red
City
Sea.
is so Jewish.
I said, all right, I'm in the right spot. Little did I know, I knew. So now I've been wearing it every year on the Shabbat of Shabbat Shirah, which apparently happens to be the Shabbat before the Chiefs are playing in something called
The
playoff,
right?
I guess.
Yeah.
So,
And I'm looking for one of those shirts. I look every year to see if it comes back. So if anyone ever comes across one online,
so
send
it
me a
will.
link.
I hopefully will last me many years because I only wear it once a year, and this is and that's it. I'll show it again at the evening for those of you who are not here early enough, which you wouldn't know because you're not here. It's great to have you joining us this evening. We have a special evening. We are celebrating Shabbat Shirah and also Shabbat Tzedek, our Justice Shabbat. We have wonderful things to come. And before that, we welcome Shabbat together on page 120. If you have candles at home, we invite you to light them now and join us in the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom. We join together on page 100 26. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. Continue together on page 134. This is part of Kabbalat Shabbat, and I don't know that we've ever really had this specific psalm sung here at Beth Torah, but 30 years ago when I used to be living in Argentina, every Shabbat we sang these words, Zambru Ladonai, is on page 134.
Zambru Ladonai bechinor, bechinor vekol zimra, b'chatzotzot vekol shofar. Hariu livnei hamelech Adonai, hiram hayam umlo, tevel veyoshvei bar, neharot imcha uchad yachad, harim yeranenu, lifnei Adonai kiva, lishpot haaretz, yishpot tevel beseder, ve'amim emei sharim. Hiram hayam umlom, tevel ve'yoshvei har, neharot imcha uchad yachad, harim yeranenu.
Page 138, we join together in Lechadodi. We're singing stanzas 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, all the odd numbered stanzas.
Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat lekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat lekabela. La 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat lekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat lekabela.
שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל אביך, אדוני אחד, שמו אחד, לשם תפארת ולתהילה.
La 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 lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat lekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat lekabela. מקדש מלך, עיר מלוכה, ומצאי מתוך ההפכה, רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה. לה 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 lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat lekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat lekabela. La la la
ניסה שוסאי ורחקו כל מבלעי יסיס עלייך אלוהייך כמסוס חתן על כלה לה 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 לחדתי לקראת כלה פני פני שבת נקבלה לחדתי לקראת כלה פני פני שבת נקבלה
בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה וצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה
לחדתי לקראת כלה פני פני שבת נקבלה לחדתי לקראת כלה פני פני שבת נקבלה לה 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 לחדתי לקראת כלה פני פני שבת נקבלה לחדתי לקראת כלה פני פני שבת נקבלה. Page 146.
Lai 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 lai
Lai lai lai.
lai 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 lai
Lai lai lai lai lai.
lai 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 lai
Lai lai lai lai lai lai lai.
Barechu
Arechu
et Adonai
et Adonai. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Continue together on page 152. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed Ve'ahavta
את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקישרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו עשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת
אמת. We join together at the top of page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדב הקודש, נורא תהילות, אוסף פלא, אוסף פלא, מלכותך רמו בניך, בוקע הים לפני משה ומרים, זני אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדב הקודש, נורא תהילות, אוסף פלא, אוסף פלא, אוסף פלא.
Page 161.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkiveinu, Leshalom. Hamideinu, Shomereinu lechayim. Ufros aleinu, Sukat shlomecha. Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkiveinu, Leshalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותיו, ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותיו, ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותיו, ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותיו, ברית עולם. עשה אדוני
את השמיים
את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותיו ולעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותיו ולעולם ביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש שבת ויהי נפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותיו ולעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותיו ולעולם אנא שפתי תפתח אנא ופי יגיד תהילתך
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסרות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך חוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב והושיע, מהשיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We continue our Amidah silently through page 180.
יהיו לרצון אמרי פי וגיון ליבי לפניך. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי וגיון ליבי לפניך. אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי וגואלי. אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי וגואלי. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי וגיון ליבי לפניך. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי וגיון ליבי לפניך. אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי וגואלי. אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי וגואלי.
It is now time for our Simcha moment.
Woohoo.
Please, if you are so moved to share special Simcha, a joy from this past week, we invite you to type in on your comments line. It could include birthday, anniversary, good news, and accomplishments of all and any kind. Please just use a few words and then click return.
I hope he's typing it in. Dave had a birthday.
Happy
You
birthday.
did. You had a birthday.
This Shabbat is the Shabbat during which we read Parashat Beshalach, which includes the Song of the Sea. So a lot of kind of things going to be around that today.
Yeah.
So I chose to share with all of you, with all of us, a poem by Rabbi Ruth Son called I Shall Sing to the Lord a New Song. And it is, the voice of the poem is Miriam.
Okay.
We don't hear much from Miriam at all. We do know that at the end of the Song of the Sea, there's a reference that said that Miriam went out and sung and maybe even composed the poem, but that's all speculation. So here's another piece of speculation, if you want, imagination by Rabbi Son. I, Miriam, stand at the sea and turn to face the desert, stretching endless and still. My eyes are dazzled, the sky brilliant blue, sun-burnt sands unyielding white. My hands turn to dove wings, my arms reach for the sky, and I want to sing, the song rising inside me. My mouth open, I stop. Where are the words? Where the melody? In a moment of panic, my eyes go blind. Can I take a step without knowing a destination? Will I falter? Will I fall? Will the ground sink away from under me? The song still unformed. How can I sing? To take the first step, to sing a new song, is to close one's eyes and dive into unknown waters. For a moment knowing nothing, risking all, but then to discover The waters are friendly. The ground is firm. And the song rises again out of my mouth. Come words lifting the wind, and I hear for the first the song that has been in my heart, silent, unknown, even to me. It's one of my favorite poems.
That's really nice.
Doesn't matter it's about Miriam, it's just wonderful. And also to me it speaks, again, we are in a very unknown.
Yes.
I don't know where we're going with all this thing of the pandemic, so it's good to know that perhaps the waters will be friendlier and the ground will be firm again. We thank you for sharing this Shabbat with us and for sharing all your simchas. We now gather them all together and offer a prayer. Divine source of blessings, we thank you for everything that enriches our lives. We turn to you now with gratitude as we share in the happiness of all those who have marked their birthday, anniversary, good news, and accomplishments. Adonai, be with them now and always. May they be blessed with the strength to overcome sickness and sorrow, and with much health and happiness now and always. As we honor each one of you for the gifts that you bring to our sacred community, together we join our voices in singing the Shehecheyanu blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kimanu v'higianu lezman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kimanu v'higianu lezman hazeh.
We promised today is Shabbat Shirah, and it wouldn't be Shabbat Shirah without us reading the Song of the Sea from our Torah scroll. So for that, we invite all of you to join us on page 367 as we begin the service for the reading of the Torah with Al Shlosha Dvarim. Reminder to everybody joining us this evening that you can find a link to the reading for this evening from the Torah from Parashat Bashalach. It's a link that you received this morning in the e-news. You can also follow the link in the comments if you are joining us on Facebook Live. The way in which the Torah is chanted, it's marked in a certain way by trope. The Song of the Sea has a special trope for parts of it, which Leslie will chant for us in just a minute. I just want to mention, if you haven't noticed this by now, but you will, The Mi Chamocha that we sang earlier today, that Leslie composed, is based on the special trope that we used to sing the Song of the
Yes.
Sea.
Yep.
It goes like, Mi Chamocha ba'elim Adonai. And you'll hear in a minute, it's here. So, but before that, we'll invite everybody to join us in the blessings before the reading of the Torah. They're on page 368. Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach.
Baruch Adonai hamerach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch ata Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Az yasher Moshe uvnei Yisrael et hashira hazot l'Adonai ve'yomru lemor hashira l'Adonai ki ga'oka sus v'rochvo rama vayam oziv zimratia vayli lishua ze'eli ve'anvehu Elohei avi ve'aromemenhu Adonai ish milchama Adonai shemo Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot oseh feleh.
Yashar koach. We join together in the blessing after the reading of the Torah, also at the bottom of page 368. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar. I'm sorry, I forgot the melody. Baruch. No. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech. So everybody whoever is going to have a bar mitzvah here, they can quote this the day the rabbi forgot the melody. I'm just still singing.
It's because we talked about it. Yeah, it's because it's a special melody and it gets in your head.
Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu torat emet v'chaye olam nata betochenu. Baruch ata Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
As we gather, we offer prayer for those in need of healing. You may have access to the Misheberach list through the e-news that you received this morning. You can also follow the link in the comments. If you like to offer names, we invite you to type them in the comments so we can all see them. Please go ahead and begin typing. On this Shabbat, we pray for healing, both of the body and the spirit, for all of us in need. Page 371, Misheberach.
Find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
As we think of those in need of healing, we also turn our thoughts and prayers to those who help in healing, health workers all over our city and the world during this pandemic. May those who care for the sick with their hands, their voices, and their hearts be blessed with courage and stamina. May those who pursue healing through medical skill and knowledge be blessed with insight, patience, and compassion. And may all of us, the sick and the well together, find courage and hope. And let us say, Amen. We conclude the service for the reading of the Torah on page 374 with Etz Chaim. A lifelong teacher and member of our congregation, Jennifer Savner Levinson, who hails from Chicagoland, where she taught in public schools for about 4 years before she moved to the middle of the country here in Kansas in 1997 to attend the University of Kansas, where she earned a master's degree in special education with an emphasis in autism, Asperger's syndrome, behavioral disorders, and coordination and supervision of special education. Jennifer is now serving in the board of our trustees, and in a very short few months that she's been on the board, she's made an impact already by leading our efforts towards bringing social justice and systemic change to our county. Jennifer has many professional accomplishments, but around here, Jennifer is mostly known as Molly's and Kate's mom. We are blessed to have Jennifer speak to us on this Shabbat Tzedek, this Shabbat when the entire Reform movement gathers to find inspiration so that we can take our ideals from theory to practice. So it is my pleasure and honor. Jennifer, welcome to your congregation.
Okay, that's probably easier. Thank you. Good evening. Good Shabbos. I'm Jennifer Savner Levinson, and I've been a member of Congregation Beth Torah for 23 years. I have served in a wide range of volunteer roles, and currently I am a member of the congregation's Board of Trustees. Additionally, I am honored to serve on the Board of Directors of the Good Faith Network, as well as co-chair the Mental Health Research Committee. For those of you that don't know, the Good Faith Network is a newly formed interfaith group composed of 20 congregations across Johnson County with the sole mission of pursuing justice in our community to address the most pressing problems that we find in the community. And Congregation Beth Torah is one of the organization's most active members. It is truly a privilege to be here before you tonight on this weekend honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to talk with you about our call to do justice. And make no mistake, justice seeking is something we all are called to do. As Dr. King said in his letter from a Birmingham jail, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. I cannot recall a time in my life that I did not feel the drive to do justice. I have always seen those marginalized and vulnerable, for I know what it is like to feel unseen. My childhood, while perhaps was privileged, was certainly not easy for me. Learning was always a struggle. I recall spending most of the second grade being sent out into the hall because I would not read. It wasn't that I would not read, it was because I could not read. I didn't learn how to read until the third grade due to an undiagnosed learning disability. Everything throughout my school career was a challenge for me. In the fourth grade, my parents decided to move from my first childhood home on a street filled with children my age, which was the most magical place to me, to a home that while I remained at the same elementary school, it meant that I now needed to ride a school bus every day. Interacting with my friends no longer happened by simply walking out the front door. During the same time, the gap in my comprehension and learning as compared to my peer group became more and more obvious. This began a downward spiral of believing I was not enough and I was not worthy. As the years of elementary school moved into junior high and then into high school, the sense of isolation was completely overwhelming. Then everything soon became a challenge for me, most of all, my relationships. It was almost as if overnight, my struggle with my mental wellness manifested into anxiety, depression, and suicidal ideation. I was not bullied. It was worse. I simply was not seen. It is not an exaggeration to say I had no friends during those critical years of childhood development. I understood the feeling of wanting a sense of belonging and connection. Out of that experience has grown a consciousness for me as a human to be the voice of the voiceless. So that is why I do justice. But why should we, as a body of faith, as congregants of Beth Torah, be seekers of justice? Well, a certain but often confused or even overlooked mission of our faith is the call to do justice. Isaiah 58:6 tells us of the kind of fasting that God desires of us, saying, "Is not this the kind of fasting I have chosen, to loose the chains of injustice and untie the cords of the yoke, to set the oppressed free and break every yoke?" And Micah 6:8 says, "What does the Lord require of you but to do justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God?" That Micah passage outlines the three requirements God has for us: to pursue justice, mercy, and faithfulness. And when we think about these three requirements, and we think about what's happening here at Beth Torah, we first see that we are doing a good job at faithfulness in our humble walk with God. The best example of that is that we join together in worship at least 52 times a year and encourage prayer and study together to strengthen our relationship with God. We are here together, well, kind of, virtually, in worship right now. We also do a very good job of merciful acts as a congregation. Acts of mercy are when we are meeting the immediate, emergent needs of individuals, such as blood drives, food drives, or building houses through Tikkun KC. These are all excellent examples of our works of mercy in our community. But what about justice? Our scripture shows that justice means addressing the root causes of problems to ensure the fair treatment of all people, especially the poor, the widow, and the orphan. As we think about that in our modern context, that looks like holding our local leaders accountable for the fair treatment of the most vulnerable in our community. We often find we haven't accomplished justice for one simple reason: individuals. And even individual faith communities do not have enough power to influence the way our systems operate. It is not possible for a single congregation to bring about widespread, systematic change. One voice just is not big enough. We need a powerful voice to deal with powerful systems. As one congregation, we can bring people together for worship, and we can collect food for distribution. But transforming systems, doing justice, requires a much larger voice. It requires the power of organized people. One outstanding example of using the power of organized people for direct action is clearly found in the work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. As Dr. King said in his letter from a Birmingham jail, nonviolent direct action seeks to create such a crisis and foster such a tension that a community which has constantly refused to negotiate is forced to confront the issue. I have earnestly opposed violent tension, but there is a type of constructive, nonviolent tension which is necessary for growth. The purpose of our direct action program is to create a situation that will inevitably open the doors to negotiation. And we must recognize that the Jewish commitment to justice in general and to the struggle for civil rights is not a modern phenomenon. To understand our historic and continued passion for the work of justice, it is critical to comprehend the concept of justice, Tzedek. Deuteronomy 16:20 tells us, Tzedek, Tzedek, Tirdof, justice, justice shall you pursue. The Jewish concept of justice stresses equality, the idea that every human life has equal value. In Jewish life, the attainment of justice is critical to the attainment of holiness. This idea was the basis for the significant Jewish involvement in the struggle for the Black civil rights in America. Okay. In this photo, Dr. King, Rabbi Maurice Ezendroth, and Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel are marching together in Montgomery, Alabama. This picture illustrates the relationship between the Jewish and Black communities during the Civil Rights Movement. This photograph was taken in 1965 in Montgomery, Alabama, at the conclusion of the famous March for Voting Rights from Selma to Montgomery. Rabbi Eisendroth, a tremendous figure in American Reform Judaism, can be seen carrying the Torah in this photo. Next to him is Rabbi Heschel, one of this century's great religious figures and a close colleague of Dr. King. This photo is a powerful testament to what happens when people join together across faith traditions to pursue justice in a community. It can be tempting to think we don't face the same kind of high-stakes justice issues in Johnson County that Dr. King was fighting, but that just is not true. Our research is revealing that our current mental health safety net is meeting less than half of the projected serious mental health needs in our county. We know the residents of our community are struggling to enter and navigate a baffling system of care while coping with anxiety, depression, substance use disorder, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and suicidal ideation. That is a life and death justice issue. On a given night, 180 people are homeless in Johnson County. In a given year, up to 1,000 students in Johnson County are precariously housed or homeless. This is happening here in the wealthiest county in Kansas. While we have few homeless shelters for families in Johnson County, we have no permanent shelters for single women or single men. That is a life and death justice issue. We have high-stake justice issues right here in our backyard, right here in Johnson County. And it is up to us to seek justice for the marginalized and the unseen, and that must begin today. Dr. King offered words of caution for our faith communities that strayed from their fundamental call. He said they, quote, would be dismissed as an irrelevant social club with no meaning for the 20th century. Well, here we are in the 21st century, looking for ways to live out our faith by doing justice. So I hope each of you will become connected with something that seeks systemic change in our community. And if you are wanting to begin tackling justice issues right now, that you will join the work of the Good Faith Network, which is addressing homelessness and the mental health crisis in Johnson County. Many of you are already part of our network, and I greatly appreciate and applaud all of your efforts. If you haven't already gotten involved and you would like to, you can reach out either to me, Scott Franklin, Tamara Falakov, or Brandy Fisher. It is societies of silence that do not confront injustice that cause the breakdown of moral justice and civil liberties. Learn from Dr. King. Speak up, for once you begin to speak, you become the voice for those who are struggling to be heard. Dr. King's powerful legacy is one of a man who sought a radical faith rooted in love that inspires each of us to live our lives in service to justice. May his memory be a blessing. Tzedek, Tirdoff, justice, justice shall you pursue. Good Shabbos.
someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome I hope you're singing with me at home. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall live in peace someday.
Yasher Koach, Jennifer, thank you for your honesty and for leading us in this path towards justice. There's a lot of work to be done, and we absolutely need to start today. For everybody who was listening, if you missed some of the ways to contact our justice work, we'll get information out next week, so you'll have another chance to reflect on this and trying to think how you would like to join us in our work for justice. We continue now with our service. We turn to page 586 for Aleinu L'Shabech.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני
we prepare for our moment of remembrance, I invite you to turn to page 594. Why should I wish to see God better than this day? I see something of God in each hour of the 24, and each moment then. In the faces of men and women, I see God. In my own face in the glass, I find letters from God dropped in the street, and every one is signed by God's name. And I leave them where they are, for I know that wheresoever I go, others will punctually come forever and ever. As a congregation, we are observing the Shiva for Charlotte Bell Mustard and of Chris Gray, and the Shloshim for Edith Tabor, cousin of Louise Hipsch and Neil Breslau, and Dan Markham Sr., father and father-in-law of Rivi and David Parker. And on this Shabbat, we remember the following yortzites of members of our congregation: Jose Adler, Nathan Applebaum, George Bellotti, Henny Berg, Riva Bogomolnaya, Dorothy M. Chapman, Sylvia Gershon, Nathan Haith, Ida R. Jabin, Noam Chalemsky, A.B. Conants, Sally Nassau Learman, Robert Miko, Betty Jean Moses, Barbara Meyer, Joan Patrick Riley, Rowena Robino, Edith Rubin, Isaac Rutnick, Norman Weiner, Wyman Wickersham. Zichronam livracha. May the memories be for a blessing. Page 598, we join together in Kaddish Yatom, the mourners' Kaddish. Itgadal ve'itgadash shemei rabba, be'alema divra chirute ve'amlich malchute, bechayechon uvyamechon uvechaye dechol beit Israel, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabba mevarach lelam ulelemei alemaya. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירם בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו Amen.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, ועמו ישראל,
Some announcements and thank yous before we go our own way, separate ways. Special thanks you to Leslie and our musicians, Howard and Warren, and special thanks to Jennifer for sharing your passion for social justice on this Justice Shabbat, and to Dave Zucker for bringing us beyond our walls, which of course now it's again more crucial than ever. Just a quick reminder, if you have caught this in midway, that as of January 11, due to the increased COVID rate in KC, all Beth Torah organized in-person gatherings are suspended until further notice. We have many opportunities to come together online from our own homes.
First Shabbat continues tomorrow morning with Sichat Shabbat, our Shabbat conversation at 9 a.m. on Zoom, followed by Shabbat morning service at 10:30 on all of our virtual platforms. Remember, no in person this week.
Looking ahead, we have numerous learning opportunities. This includes critical conversations with Aviva and members of Bnei Yehuda. We will come together once a month to ask big questions like, what is modern-day idolatry from the Chai Mitzvah curriculum, and learn from one another. We also are beginning a Weiner Religious School pre-K class and a CBT Adult B'nai Mitzvah class. We're seeking interest for all of these things, but the pre-K is a go, God willing, pandemic and all that. But please refer to the e-news for more information about all these exciting learning opportunities.
And last but not least, we look forward to coming together online while we are not here together. And to that end, Aviva and I are reviving a couple of fun activities. The song session is going to be every week for the next 4 weeks on Tuesday nights, starting this next Tuesday at 7 p.m. on all of our virtual platforms. And Aviva is bringing back the weekly virtual ONEG. It's so exciting. That's going to take place immediately after service on Zoom, and that link was in your e-news.
And I just want to show my shirt again. I know someone here, one of the musicians had something that said Steelers. I'm not sure what that is, but this has to do with the Red Sea. I think he's going to go get it. While he does that.
This is, see, this is what's called a friendly rivalry.
This is a friendly rivalry.
If we could keep all of our battles to the sports fields, that would be amazing.
That'd be fantastic. There we
go.
It's just a little cold in here.
It's chilly. I understand.
Let the best team win. That's what they say. No. We're going to show it to everybody there.
I just heard boos on TV.
We conclude together on this special Shabbat Shirah and Shabbat Tzedek, singing Olam Chesed Ibanem. Yadadai, 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 Olam Chesed Ibanem, 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 Yadadai, Yadadai, Yadadai. I will build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, yadadai, dai. And you must build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, yadadai, dai. Then God will build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, yadadai, dai. Then God will build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, yadadai, dai. Yadadai, dai, yadadai, dai. Shabbat Shalom.
Take care of each other out there.